Bill, we're going to start. All right. That's all right. Okay, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We now have a moment of silence. Okay. Roll call of officers. Bill McDevitt is absent. Bill Flanagan.
Here.
Norm Jagier, here. Jim Gaffney, here. Kyle Van.
Here. I threw my voice. I tried to throw my voice, Kyle.
John McDonald.
Here.
And how come his name ain't on here?
That's because it's the old meeting minutes.
Oh, okay.
James Hall. present.
James Hall. And who else do we have? That's it, right?
And Jay, yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's it. Okay. Okay, let's see, what are we going to start with? Yeah, a motion to approve the meeting minutes? Last month's meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Second by Pledge of Allegiance, roll call, minutes for approval. Under old business, anybody have any old business?
Okay.
Right, you're right. I forgot about that. Anything under old business? Anybody have anything under the old business?
No, he said you're going to make a roll call on the meeting minutes because he wasn't there the last meeting.
Oh, okay. All right. So what do we?
Can you actually vote on it then?
Oh, we haven't had a,
Well, you have to vote on the minutes.
on the minutes. Right. Okay, so what do?
Do we have enough here that was here?
Yeah, do we have enough people that was here? I don't think there
I
is.
think so. Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do. Right.
Yeah, well, not for the vote, not
We're
for
not
the
gonna
meeting
vote
minutes.
this, no, so.
We don't. Jay, you were here the last meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, you were
So was
here.
everybody else. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a quorum for that.
Yeah, we have, yeah,
So
so we can get a motion on this.
yeah,
On
and then just do a
approval.
roll call on it.
Right. So what do we do next? There was, yeah,
Seconded by
I don't know who seconded it.
Jay Gaffney.
Jay
yeah.
Gaffney. Okay, well, everybody voted on it, approved?
Well,
or-
you got to go right. Start with Bill.
Bill,
Vote is to approve the last
vote-
meeting minutes.
the vote is to approve last month's meeting minutes? Okay.
Yes.
Ben, yes? Jay?
Aye.
Okay,
So moved.
so moved. Now, roll call, meeting minutes approved. Now we can go on to old business if we have anything. I don't know, anybody want to bring anything up under old business?
I would just like a brief status report on the Walter F. Bayless Jr. Monument Project that that was supposed to be in process and
Yes, I actually talked to Fred Healy, and right now it's under, and what they're thinking is they can't do a regular monument. They may have to do just a park bench, but they're
Okay.
looking for another spot. So he's waiting to hear from
and the spot they were looking at was what, Tyler Park?
Tyler Park, and they might have to just go with just a park bench rather than a full monument. but they're looking into other ways. I guess Tom Belgard is involved with that, I believe, and a woman, I can't remember her name at this moment. I can't remember. But it's being addressed. So as soon as I hear something, I'll let everybody know.
Okay.
I can't,
You gotta turn your mic on.
yeah.
If you see your green light, that's right on the top.
There you go. Okay. I think,
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, okay. What was
What's
the
the question?
question?
are those Tyler Park restrictions that are preventing them from having a monument, or?
Yes, and that's what the problem is. It's the restrictions on the park. Fred Healy's looking at it, and the last I heard, they will not be able to have that, so I don't know if they're gonna have a bench there or if they're looking for another location. I'm waiting to hear. I will probably talk to Fred tomorrow. If not, I'm gonna see him Saturday, because I have a funeral to do on Saturday, so I'll talk to him more on
Is there an
that.
opportunity to offer other ideas again? Like, I know Bill had some ideas or some
We
options.
could, if we wanna
At some
have it.
point.
Bill, if you want, we can have another meeting with Fred to see if there's other we can have other options on whether moving it, whether coming up with a different idea.
Because I can't imagine what restrictions Tyler Park would have.
I don't know exactly what the restrictions are, but there is a restriction stating they can't have a regular monument. They can have
And I just don't
plaque
want this thing to die in the wind like the projects go, because, it was an important figure in the city, and
bench. So,
May I add something? I do believe there's a neighborhood committee. It's in the early process. They're planning they want to dedicate, there's an island on Lincoln Parkway for him on Veterans Day, which is, I told them it's going to be a little tough because it's Veterans Day. There's a lot of other functions going on. But I believe right now, tentatively, it's 2 p.m., but it's still in the works. That's why I didn't bring it up.
Oh, I
But just so you know, it's not there. It's not dying. I think a lot of people are actually trying to do different things. That's just one thing that's in the works.
yeah, I'm talking about relative to this thing tied into this commission. I mean, everybody's got all different ideas and floating all around. I just, specific to this, having something, a lasting memorial relative to tied into the city.
I know, Bill, you were at the meeting and it was a very brief meeting when we had it at Fred's. Maybe I can talk to Fred and see if we can get another meeting set up.
Right. I think a park bench would be nice, but when you consider the stature of Walter and what he...
Yeah, that wouldn't do him no justice as far as I'm concerned.
And you had other, I think people offered a lot of different ideas of what it could be, and maybe we ought to go back and revisit some of those original ideas, because, going from a nice memorial to nothing wrong with a park bench, but I just don't think it's what we were originally looking at.
But by all means, speak to Fred.
I've got to call him tomorrow. He's going to call me tomorrow. So maybe if there's anybody else that wants to be there, just let me know.
Well, I think if we put out a notice that they're gonna have a meeting, and if we can make it, we'll go, but, I think just to send an email and let everybody know when the meeting is, and if they can
I'll,
participate, do that, yeah.
He's going to call me tomorrow because
Okay.
I got to go over some things with him. When he does, I'll mention that and I'll tell Eric, and maybe we can get something, and I'll let you know, Bill, and whoever else wants to get involved in that. Because it would be a shame to let this fall under the carpet. I mean, that
No,
wouldn't be.
that's
we
why,
can't- And
yeah,
that's what I don't want to happen.
no.
Okay. Anything else on old business? The proposed one, oh, yes. The flags, we voted to get an update from Eric at the next meeting. Eric, on the box that we were thinking about doing for the tattered flags?
I was not at the last meeting, so I don't have specifics as to what you were speaking of.
The,
I
We've
know-
talked about it the last several meetings, but I have it on the new business as well, if we want to table it till that.
yeah,
Okay.
we can, if you want to.
But we want to talk about it now?
I would like to talk over now, so
Okay.
that's something we don't forget.
Yeah, I have an update on it. Eric, this is the U.S. flag retirement box we talked about, which was, we looked at renditions of it the last, there was several meetings back, and Commissioner McDevitt said that he would look into some old post office boxes. which would, again, be a receptacle for people that wanted to retire a tattered flag or a flag that was discolored, whatever it was, and we'd have it in front of City Hall. I had an email today from Commissioner McDevitt, and he said that the post office is no longer doing that. They're no longer allowing the old post office boxes to be repurposed, and that we should try to find a different alternative. So, again, the idea behind it is to have the city have a central place where the old flags could be retired and respectfully, and here at City Hall. And so if we could come up with some concepts or a permanent drop box of some sort, and the reason the old post office box was an idea is because we actually saw a picture of an old post office box that had been repainted and said retired flags here type of thing. But if the post office can't do it, then the post office can't do it. So if we could come up with something else, maybe buy an all-weather type of box, outdoor box that could do that.
Perhaps either, I mean, if the post office had something like that, I mean, maybe FedEx or UPS has boxes like that, or maybe the school, that might be a project for them to actually build a couple. I mean, they don't have to be extravagant, right?
Right. Just the size of a post office box with a bin that could,
Right.
you know,
I
so
think-
weather wouldn't get to it or whatever, and
I mean, I personally think this City Hall and the senior center for two separate places
Yeah.
would be, they're coming in my office all the time anyway. That would be a
City
good
Hall would
place
be
for them.
together.
I mean, I can look up some ideas, and I can.
all right, so what I would do is, I'll put together, I'll make a motion that we ask that Eric Lamarche look into contacting the Greater Lowell Volk Technical High School and see if that's a project that they're willing to take on. And if that's the case, then
We would just
the
need to-
question would be, what's the cost? If there is a cost, what's the lead time?
Location.
And, you know, the next step would be, once they design something, that we would talk about a location here at City Hall. And I like your idea about the senior center, because
Just two locations, or do you want to talk about others?
It would be nice if we could probably put one at an American Legion someplace and maybe a VFW. Doesn't necessarily have to be any particular one, but in Lowell. Could be
well,
that.
only thing is
That would
not
be
being a public building, I'm just, you know,
Do you want to start off with just two locations and see how it works?
that's my
Yeah.
opinion. I don't.
Yeah, we could start off with two, and if it becomes, if it flies, then we could come up with more locations.
Yeah, I just, you know, I would want to plan around it, once it's established, once there's a location established, and be able to communicate to the public that this thing exists, and it's available, and,
Yeah, you could
will
probably,
use it.
possibly, once we get this, put a small article in the newspaper for maybe 1 day, 2 days, something of that nature.
it'd be nice.
That would be nice. Let's see. Yeah, there would be one.
So anyway, I made a motion to,
I'll second the motion.
thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call. Mrs. McDevitt?
He's not here.
He's,
Flanagan?
he's not,
Mr. Flanagan?
Chairman, Mr. Judea?
Yep.
Yes?
yes.
Mr. Gaffney?
Yes.
Mr. Van?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Jim Hall, yes. Anyone else that I missed?
That's it.
Passes.
So
Passes.
moved. The other thing was we have to get the names for,
Yeah, it's new business.
that's under new business. We gotta get names.
Yeah, the deadline was today, or actually, yeah, for this meeting.
Yeah, was at this meeting. Does anybody, did you have any names by?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I submitted them the last meeting. So are we in the new business now?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
in new business.
The motion that we had made was proposed names for the Walter F. Bayless Jr. Veterans of the Month for the second round, which would be May, June, July, and August. And I had submitted some names, which I'll read, but I also opened it up to anyone in the community listening, any of the veterans groups offer. I personally didn't receive any communications. I don't think, did anyone else receive any communications from any groups? No. So I submitted, and we talked about extensively a couple meetings ago, especially with you, Bill, Don McPhail was and you had some background on him. I don't know if you would just say a brief description of, or not, it's up to you right now, on Don McPhail, but, Vietnam veteran, had been a prisoner of war from the city of Lowell, and he was the name that I had submitted for the month of May.
Right.
The month of June, Navy veteran, retired state trooper, well-known Lowellian, Joe Machado, for the month of June. The month of July, and again, this was one of Mr. Flanagan's ideas, was veterans that serve in the Lowell School Department. I thought was a good nomination for June, and then, or July rather, and then August was
What was the person's name?
all veterans that serve the Lowell School Department.
Just all veterans?
Yep, like we did with the police and fire. And then the month of August, Megan Hara, who is a disabled vet, owner of Eiffel Beauty, and one of the first participants in the city's recognition of veterans at businesses. So those were the names, and they've been floating around for a couple months, and those would be the names, I guess, that I would submit and make a motion that we, unless anybody else has any other names that they'd like to submit, I would make a motion that we move these names forward and submit them to the city council and have a similar ceremony that we had the last time here at city council chambers. So that would be my motion.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Gaffney.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call. Mr. Flanagan?
Yes.
Chairman Jagir?
Yeah.
Mr. Gaffney?
Aye.
Officer Van?
Aye.
Vice Chairman McDonald?
Aye.
Jim Hall? Yes. Motion passes.
All right, so
Okay.
moved.
So moved.
So Eric, do you want to,
I need a spelling on that last name.
here there.
Thank you.
Do you want to contact the, I guess, the mayor's office and set a date for, September's not good, but October? Does anybody have any problems with like mid-October, late October? Something to that effect?
Great.
Sounds great. Okay, so for a mid to late October city council meeting, and then as far as the arrangements go, Eric, if there's nothing in the budget, then we can certainly talk to Veterans Assisting Veterans again and see if they make a small donation to have the same type of refreshments and whatnot, but we don't want to keep dipping into that well either.
Right, we should find a source
Yeah.
for these things.
But I know there's a budget next year, that maybe that's a budget item that you could submit and maybe get approved in next year's budget. But for the time being, we could see if any local business might want to sponsor it, or again, if we have to, I know,
I think we got too much food the last time. Too much, I mean, so maybe we can just cut it in half.
Yeah,
It's not
there
gonna be-
was-
it
there
won't
was
be
a
that
lot
expensive.
left
yeah, I think coffee and.
Couple
and some-
$100,
and-
it wasn't much.
Yeah, coffee and some cookies and,
Pastries.
Pastries
something
type of
small,
thing, yeah.
We don't have to have, steak.
I mean, we'd had a huge crowd, but they just didn't eat.
Right, so coffee and
A
pastries.
couple hundred people didn't eat
Yeah.
50 sandwiches, so, yeah. All right.
Place so crowded they couldn't get to the table.
That's true, it was so jam-packed,
It
so.
was very crowded.
All right, so you'll inform those?
I will ask the mayor, and then I'll email all of you with the date that they come up with.
Okay. And then they'll have to be contacted to give their bio and all that other stuff.
You have their addresses and phone numbers?
I'll get you that.
Okay.
Well, Mr. McPhail's family will have to work on, but they do have some family left in the area, so,
Okay.
yep. And I have an alternative that can receive the award if the family's not available. And that would be retired Drake Police Chief Kevin Richardson.
Okay.
Would accept on behalf of Don McPhail, because I've already kind of talked to him about it. He's a friend of the family's.
Anything else? Anybody have anything under new business
Yeah,
whatsoever?
I have a couple of agenda items there.
Yeah, you jumped.
I jumped? Who jumped?
We both jumped.
Norman did.
Norman jumped? On what?
These are,
Oh, Jay. Yeah, you jumped over Jay.
Oh,
Poor Jay.
yeah, these are,
Jay, can you turn, we can't hear you.
I'll bring it to a good climax here with the. These are, they're listed on new business, but they're really old business. We've gone over them before, kind of a public presence thing. And I can't remember how we left the website issue.
Yeah, we left it that we were looking into it with the city, whoever's in charge of the websites, and that's kind of where it,
I thought we had an answer on that, and I don't believe the commission is going to be able to have their own, they said they could, last I heard is that the commission could put their information on the commission section of the city website, but to have their own website, you'd have to go out on your own and develop your own website, is the last I recall about that.
can we just check into it again?
The
I mean, I
only-
think, doesn't each commission have its own page? City website page?
I don't
No?
believe so.
We don't. We're kind of hard to find for some reason on the,
Yeah, we are hard to find, yes. And we don't want to be hard to find. We want to be easy to find.
I did, we are the only, at least currently, the only commission in Massachusetts, but
Yeah?
they do have them in
As far
other,
as I know,
they do have them in other cities and other states.
Yes, they do.
And they do have websites.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that we're doing ourselves a disservice and veterans a disservice if we don't. So I'm on the same page with you that if we don't promote what's going on here, because we've done some pretty good things and we'll want to continue to do that.
Who
Makes the,
on the commission would manage the webpage?
it's a good question.
Yeah, very.
I don't even know that it's something that needs to be managed as much as it needs to be posted as sort of the only time that you would have, new information. I think you would want to put what's been accomplished, who the commissioners are at a minimum, and keep it simple in a contact form, which I think I would think that based on what I've seen of the city website and every department, and planning board, and they list the people, and when you hit their names, it goes to an email. I don't understand why the Veterans Commission can't have that.
I'm just trying to explain that the other commissions do not have that type of an access to the webpage.
So if you hit on somebody's name, like every other page,
I think it just gives you information on who these, I mean, I'll look into it and I'll
I'm
tell
not
them
looking
that-
for all kinds of information. I just want people to be able to say, oh, I saw Commissioner Hall was on there. I have a question about Commissioner Hall. I'd like to direct to him. I can hit a button. It pops up an email, and I can send Commissioner Hall an email and submit. Because, I mean, I get a question. I get a couple of questions over the month. One was about the flags that we were supposedly going to get all replaced here in the city. And some people have complained about that, and there's others that have said, geez, I'd like to do it, and I'd like to, so those are and it's come through people that I've known, but I'm sure a lot of people that I don't know have questions on things that they'd like answered, so we need to have that kind of,
I will contact the MIS department and see if they're willing to manage a
Thank you.
website.
Who made the determination that we can't have one,
I believe it was the MIS department.
or MIS department?
Correct. I think, I don't think, I'll tell you what, like I said, I'll contact the MIS department and I will have him respond to the commission directly, so.
Good.
There's a lot of times I don't get response as well, so please respond to this email if I send one out, please.
If they don't respond, or if we're not happy with the response, perhaps the next time we could draft some kind of a formal request from the commission to them.
I'm not sure if there's a legal issue. I'm not sure if that's an issue.
I mean, talk about making a mountain out of a very small molehill. We're trying to just get people to be able to contact the commission. I mean, if the MIS department can't do that, I think we need to take a look at some things. But that's all we're trying to do. Enable people, the good people of the city of Lowell, give them an opportunity to actually able to offer ideas. If they can't come down here, to be able to actually contact some of the commissioners here, and I don't think that that's too much to ask, and
I don't
so
either.
let's
Could we
get an
invite-
answer for that, and we'll go from there.
All right, could we invite the city, somebody from the MIS department? Maybe we can discuss this as a group.
Absolutely, I would
Yeah,
say that.
absolutely.
Yes.
Vice Chairman McDonald's making a motion to formally request a
I can,
website instead of waiting another month.
yes. I'll make a motion that it's a good idea. Commissioner Hall can make the same motion. Why don't you make that motion? It's good.
I'd request a motion that we request that the city provide us the means to have a website so that veterans can outreach to us.
Right.
And we can provide information.
Excellent.
And I will second that motion.
Discussion. Seeing none. Roll call. Mr. Flanagan. Yes. Chairman Jagir.
Yes.
Gaffney.
Right, yes.
Mr. Van.
Yes.
Vice Chairman McDonald.
Yes.
Jim Hawley, yes. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
The second item, again, it's on the public presence and outreach. Did everybody see the article in the Sun maybe 2 weeks ago on the Drake-It Veterans Discount Program?
I did.
They got pretty much a full page.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm thinking that, some kind of a press release or interview maybe with you or maybe with the chairman about some of these things would be a good way of introducing veterans and the businesses.
It was in regards to their ID program, and we had similar coverage when we did.
Did we? All right, then maybe I'll.
Yeah, but I agree with you as far
relation-
as initiatives going.
I thought it touched on the veterans discount program too. And
It was a business program similar to what
Yeah.
almost exactly what we had started here in Lowell. Am I wrong?
No, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's
we
the
had
same.
coverage on it.
We did.
Okay, then-
What I actually did, I went on to the Chamber of Commerce website today, got all kinds of, anybody in Lowell, any business in Lowell, and I'm mailing out personal letters instead of emails.
Okay, so that would be,
They went-
that
the
was
mail-
before
the
my
letters-
time that we had.
The letters are going out today to try to request that they participate in this program, so I'm trying to work on it. I mean, you can't force businesses to participate,
Okay.
and I think trying to get them is a hard, it's been hard, but I'm working on it. So this is round 2 of that process, and I currently have 129 people with IDs.
That's fantastic. And I think if we could get the word out once again that we have the ID program, because I'll tell you, I still get people that say, how do I get one of those? And I'm always constantly saying, I mean,
How many
I'm sure your
businesses do
phone's
you have?
ringing off the hook as I give out your.
How many businesses do you have signed up for the?
There's 4. There's only 4, and I sent out 51.
Only 4?
Those are only,
Wow.
there are only 51 businesses that actually make sense to give discounts to. I mean, some of them are construction companies that are member of the
Sure.
Chamber of Commerce, so I picked and I choose businesses that actually made sense, that were members of the Commerce. I'm sure there's others that aren't members of the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, and I think also, it's not necessarily that they need to provide a discount. It was just the simple fact that we, kind of a tip of the cap to veterans, that we support veterans.
Correct.
I think I'll make another motion that maybe we do another round of emails to local businesses, highlight a couple of the businesses that have actually participated, and do it.
But I am just going about it a different way. Instead of emails, I think the emails may have fallen through the cracks, so now I'm sending actual physical mail.
Good.
I mean, it's going to the same businesses that we
Do
did
you prefer
before.
that I make a motion for email and mail, or just mail?
I prefer the mail since it's already in the process.
Okay, yeah, great. Then I don't think we need to make a motion if it's in the process.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
good.
Anything else? Do you have anything?
Yeah, just one other item, and this again is reviewing something that we talked about before, which was when some individual or business does something for veterans or the veterans community that's worthy of recognition or appreciation, that we have maybe some kind of a certificate or something we can provide to them. I called it above and beyond, and that's actually that was actually Roland's suggestion that we call it an above and beyond a certificate. I have a few people in mind. I don't want to discuss it unless we actually have the
Yeah,
proof.
well, I think that the 4 businesses that already have signed up, you know, maybe we could make that part of our Veteran of the Month program, where they're given certificates as well that same night, and get some recognition for them have.
Well, the business of the month, you
Yeah, the
mean?
business, well, just recognizing that the businesses who have participated in the city and recognize veterans. I don't know that, I mean, that's only 4 more little proclamations that need to be printed up.
I know I read an article, I think I seen it in the paper, I forget where Lowe's now gives discounts to anybody that's a veteran, whereas some of them were only giving, you had to be active in the military, whatever. But I know Lowe's just had a big article that if you can prove you're a veteran, you get some
Well,
kind of discount.
in that case, we should contact the store manager and bring down the store manager that night, and thank you for supporting our veterans on behalf of the city of Lowell.
We might have to staff that to see if we can appropriately, and some may take it as an endorsement by a government body of a private business, so we probably have to staff that through the.
Just like a citation, just to say thank you.
We'd have to see, well, I mean, if you bring them up to be recognized, that's different than just giving them a certificate.
Yeah, I think a recognition, because they bring up businesses that are new to the city all the time here at city council meetings. They ask them to come to the microphone, and they've been given proclamations and different things.
Eric,
I don't have any problem, no.
or Mr. Chairman, through you to Eric, don't they now, if a store participates in the veteran discount program, do you not now give them some kind of a window display or decal?
I have a window sign that I've offered, and there's actually, the only one that took one is, I think Eiffel Beauty took one, as well as Gormley's Cafe.
Yeah, I seen the one at I.
Jimmy John's, I believe, said they were taking, I gave each of them, I haven't seen it, I've driven by a couple of times, I haven't seen the sign.
I pretty sure I've seen the one at Eiffel Beauty, but, you know.
I have seen that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. I'm still thinking of something, slightly different than the Business Veterans Discount Program. I'm just thinking, there are a lot of people that volunteer, do things for veterans, and if someone like that deserves recognition, you have some kind of a certificate that you could give them. Whether you just give them the certificate or whether it goes along with a presentation may depend on the circumstances.
Are you making a motion? Because I'd support it.
I thought we already had something, at least in the exploratory. The motion would be to design and obtain a certificate that could be presented to members of the community who rendered services to veterans or veterans organizations. No, rendered services to the veteran community in Lowell.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call. Mr. Flanagan,
Yes.
Chairman Jagir,
Yes.
Mr. Gaffney,
Yes.
Mr. Van.
Yes.
Vice Chairman McDonald.
Yes.
Jim Hall, yes, motion passes.
Do you have any objection if I send that to the mayor's office?
I don't have any objection. It
No.
might want to, I think, Jim, you were alluding to, might want to get it passed by the legal department.
If it's at this meeting and we're giving a certificate or sending it out, I don't think it's gonna be a problem, but if you included it with the Veteran of the Month in front of the city council, I think you potentially have an issue. But I personally think we should just leave it to the veterans that we're recognizing to go to the city council.
That's a good point, too, because it's a night for them, so. Yeah, so let's find out, we get the award first, and once we get the award, then we'll figure out how to give it out. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right.
On that, for wording, are we going to do the same process as the parking sign? I try to figure out some verbiage and get some response from the commission? Or, I mean, would you, Mr. Gaffney, like to come up with the verbiage that the certificate would have in it and then submit that, and then we'll find an actual certificate?
I will do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other new business?
Anybody else have any new business? Bill?
Not new business, but on that Veteran of the Month, I'll contact the McPhee family
Great.
and find out what their response would be.
I think Mary Jo's still around. You know Mary Jo?
She could be.
Yep.
And if there is no response, then I'll let you know, John.
Okay.
If there is a response, a positive response.
Yeah. I know a lot of them have passed, and one of the remaining brothers lives, he doesn't live locally. One of the brothers that passed, his widow is still around, and but Don was such a,
Is the wife still living out in the western part?
I don't know, but I know that some of the people that I know have had contact with her, have her number, so we'll find out. I mean, if I can get that number, I'll give it to you. You can call. Yeah.
Anything else?
I think we got communications.
I have a question on the Veterans of the Month. I'm going to address it to the chairman. VFW, for
Yep.
example, may be true of the Legion and other organizations as well. You know, you have a core group of people that show up at the meetings, that perform the honor guard services, do a lot of other things.
Yes, we do. We have a you know, like here, we have people that show up at our meetings.
Yeah, but I think there is probably a big group of people who are members, but are not active members. I think that's probably true of the other. Is there any way of but some of them, maybe though they're not active in the VFW, are active and are otherwise active in the community, done good service to some kind of an industry or something. Is there any way that they can be reached to see if they want to nominate somebody for the?
I can bring that up at our next meeting and see if that
be
can
great.
be done. We can do that. We just had our meeting
I know we
last
did
night.
that with the Greater Lowell Veterans Council. As a matter of fact, I even saw the commander at the VAV event, and I reminded him of it, and he
I
said
remember that. I
he
remember.
didn't have any names. This was only a couple weeks ago as well, so
I
at
mean,
least one.
I mean, I have names that I would like to have submitted, but they don't live in Lowell, so I can't really,
Sure.
you know, that's the problem. You know, there's a couple that I wanted to, but even though they belong to our club, they don't live in Lowell. They live in
announce it in your
Chelmsford,
newsletter,
Drake, Tingsboro. It's got to be from Lowell. That's the only problem we have.
Newsletter goes out to every member, doesn't it?
Yes, a newsletter.
Newsletter, yeah.
Unfortunately, our membership went down, and also unfortunately, we have a lot of elderly that can't make it to the meeting or don't make it to the meeting, they forget, and some of them are in nursing homes and whatnot. So it's, as any other organization, our membership is down quite a bit. I forget what we're at now, but it's dropped. We're averaging losing 18 to 20 members a year. Just, you know, all the World War II veterans are going. So. Anything else?
Communications?
Communications. What's your? Yeah, okay. What do we want to, anything else?
Ask if there's any communications, yeah.
Anybody have anything at all under communications?
Nope.
Nope. Questions? Answers? Nothing? Okay, the next meeting is going to be October the 11th.
Great. Make a motion to adjourn?
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right.
Adjourn.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.